Uh, we have a 3 or 4 faceted business model. So the first thing that we do actually is we fix and flip houses ourselves. And I'll go through a couple things to help you guys do a better job at finding properties. We have a hard money company uh, that obviously is a lender that lends to fix and flippers like yourself. We also lend to buy and hold investors. We lend to wholesalers. And so that's our hard money company. We have a pretty good size residential rental portfolio. It's up to about 50 properties now. And so we own 50 rentals and we manage all of our rentals ourselves. And then we also own some commercial properties. And then the last line of business that we do is tax lien certificate investing. So we'll buy tax lien certificates as well. And so the reason why that I'm on here tonight, I think probably, is to go over some of the hard money uh, offerings that we have. But before I do that, why don't we cover some of the things that you guys are just as interested in on finding the deals? And so I want to make this as interactive as possible. And so if you guys have any questions whatsoever, um, please feel free to ask any questions at any time. All right. So let me do about 10 minutes on finding deals.
Well, what I wanted to know is, first of all, my name is Marella. We come across properties, we do our comparables, and somehow we're outbidded. And it seems as though that the profit that those individuals may make is going to be super, super steep. There was one property that Anthony had showed you. We were looking at, I think it's 3233 28th Parkway in Temple Hills, Maryland. And the experience was great, but you could turn a 3.2 into a 5.2. But they were going out of the range. I guess the seller was accepting higher amounts for the property that was not habitable.
Right.
So
Here's the problem. And why don't I get into, let's talk about the status of the market.
mhm.
Okay. We have a perfect storm on the wrong side of things as far as finding inventory is concerned. Um, where are you focused? You're focused in Maryland, right? All right. So number one, inventory is at an all-time low. I've never seen inventories this low in the MLS in 17 to 20 years. Number two, interest rates are really, really low. So your end user buyers are able to buy higher dollar properties and buy them, and the interest rate's cheaper, which means they can overbid and outbid you. The third thing that's going on is the foreclosure moratorium and the eviction moratorium. Because of COVID, the government has actually caused this market to stall as far as distressed inventory is concerned. And so it's making it so much harder to find distressed inventory because the distressed inventory doesn't exist right now because you can't foreclose on a property because what they've done is they've extended this thing called the foreclosure moratorium. It's now extended to June 30th. So you don't see many houses coming to the courthouse steps, especially in PG County. The only if it's a government sponsored loan, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, FHA and VA, USDA out in Charles County, St. Mary's County, and there's one other government organization. So if it's a government sponsored loan or a government backed loan, they cannot foreclose until June 30th. So that's what you're seeing. That's one of the things you're seeing. The next thing that you're seeing is that, at least a couple of the properties that I know of that you guys have been looking at, is that the MLS is the wrong place to find properties. Okay. So you have to do, I'll go down 2 different tangents on finding properties. And actually, Anthony, I can send you guys a gold mine. I'll send you a PG County tax lien list of all the houses that went to a tax lien auction. And so some of those properties you guys can canvas and
Okay.
keep. So I've got that, but so there's two ways to do this. You have to create your own hidden market to find properties. Okay. So what does that mean? So step one, you drive, I'm serious, you literally drive for dollars. So whatever that property was that you showed me in Temple Hills, right? Well, there's probably 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 older neighborhoods in Temple Hills, if that's where you're focused on at the subdevelopment level. So what you want to do is you want to actually drive for dollars. You want to look for vacant properties. You want to look for blighted properties. And like I said, I'll send you guys this tax lien list. This was the 2020 tax lien certificate sale of PG County. And these were lists of houses that people like us actually bought the tax lien certificates. Why is it good for you? Because if these people are delayed on their taxes, odds are this is a distressed asset. This is something that you guys can kind of go and canvass and look for and talk to the owners. Okay. Now, when you're driving for dollars, you are creating your own list of properties that's exclusive to you. So James is going to have a different list than Gail. Gail's going to have a different list than Brianna. Brianna's going to have a different list than Howard. Morella, you're going to have a different list than Matt. All you guys are going to have different lists, provided you're doing this. But this has to be part of your daily routine. It has to be driving for dollars. Okay, now, once you start building your list, obviously your list has 0, right? So your list has 0. So now once you start building your list, let's say a month or 2 later, part of building the list is once you have vacant properties, you then have to skip trace and figure out where the owners are. Okay. So you're gonna have to skip trace and find the owners. Now, in the blighted, dilapidated properties, odds are they're probably owned by the owner. And so then you just reach out to the owner. Okay, now remember, this list is a living document. You're constantly adding and deleting to the list constantly, right? Now, why would you want to delete from the list? Well, the only reason why you really want to delete from the list is if you know the deed has changed hands. So that seller no longer owns the property, or the motivated seller, or the distressed asset owner. If they no longer own the property, then you might want to delete it from your list. But that could be months or years down the road. Okay. Now, once you've created the hidden market list, you want to continue to market to that list. Okay. So what your list looks like is it's the property address, right? It's the tax owner, it's the owner's name, right? Whether they co-own it, own it by themselves. Then you want to get their tax record address, which if it's a vacant property, you need to find out where they're living so that you can use that to send mailers. You need to figure out where their phone numbers are, and then you've got to get their your email addresses. Okay, now, so the next question is how do you do that? All right. So there's 2 sites that we use, and I'll put it in the chat. There's a free site, and there's a paid site that we use. All right, that's them.com, free site. Okay, and then I'm gonna go. Where's my IDIQ? And there's other ways to do this too. There's other sites. There's other ways, but I like that's them.com because that's them.com has email addresses. Now they're all not going to be good email addresses, but at least for the most part, if you do a property address search or an owner name search, most times it's going to come up with email addresses. Now, another good site that we use is a thing called IDI Core. So I'm going to cut and paste this, but this is more of a paid skip trace site. I'll put that in there. so it's paid. But you only pay, I don't know, like $1.50 a lead. You know, go on there, create your account. I think they charge you $1.50, $2 to skip trace it. So it's not that bad. You only want to do that if it's a very hot lead. Like if you don't find enough information on that'sthem.com, and let's say it's a common name. Let's say it's I don't know, Joanne Smith. She lives somewhere in Temple Hills. What you got to do is you got to do the combination of Joanne Smith and the property address. That's where you want to use the paid skip trace. Because a common name like Joanne Smith, we're not going to be able to, it's almost impossible. If you look her up on thatstem.com, there's probably going to be 10 or 12, and that's going to be a pain in the ass. So that's the time you want to use this IDI core site. But again, there's a bunch of other sites out there, but you use these sites exclusively to skip trace your vacant properties. Because you're constantly filling out your hidden market list, right? You're constantly doing that. We haven't even gotten to the title search and all that other stuff yet, but we don't want it. We don't care about that at this point. Okay. Now, once you continue to build this hidden market database that you're creating, right? Then what you need to do is you need to triangulate these guys. Triangulate is 3 ways. You want to send them mailers, postcard mailers, yellow letters, those kinds of things. You want to do that every 5 or 6 weeks. Continuously do that. Now, one of the things you want to do if you're going to do mailers is put your name and address in there as part of your database to make sure that mailer is going out, but also put a return address on there as well. That's going to come back to you. Because if the mailers come back to you, you need to update your database because you got a bad address. So you're constantly taking your hidden market list and you're refining it. You're adding to it, you're refining it, you're adding to it, you're refining to it. You're not necessarily deleting from it that often, but sometimes if you find out that a property has changed hands, then you might want to delete it. What we do is we mail to, I've been building a pre-foreclosure list for the last 15 years in Northern Virginia. And so we mail to that religiously. I have an out-of-town owner list that we mail to religiously in Northern Virginia. And so I've been doing that. And so we constantly do that. Now, that's one of the legs of the triangulation. Okay. The next thing you want to do, which the other two are free and easy. Obviously, the mailers are going to cost you some money, but there's plenty of places for you to do it. I think we use Postcard Mania, postcards.com. I don't know who the hell we use. My assistant does all this for me. But let me just I'll just bring up the mailer and you should tell me. Bandit Signs. Bandit Signs is another way. I also have a 90 ways to find deals. It's a 90 ways flyer. So Anthony, I could just mass send that out to your entire group if you want me to. So it's 90 ways to find assets. I'm kind of converging a little bit, but let me find out.
Excuse me, Charlie, we use what is it, Deal Machine?
Yeah, we use Deal Machine. I don't know if you're aware.
IQ Dialer.
An IQ Dialer. We have a caller that calls, like 3 people at a time.
That's smart.
I just purchased 2,600 leads that we want to take down.
Where'd you purchase it from?
I purchased some probate, successors data probate. They're in California.
All right, that's good. Yep, that's another good way. Again, that has to be part of but that's got to be part of your hidden market database as well. So what I'm going to suggest to you, Anthony, is when that needs to be part of your database, but you need to have a flag that says probate and just mark that to a Y so you know where that lead came from.
Right. Like the system that I'm using, it tracks like when the cars come out, like if nobody's there, they come back. It's a total marketing system. It does text, it does email.
That's good.
And we call them. And not only that, it does a voicemail drop too.
Okay.
So it does like a 3 touch point thing.
I get it.
And,
I like it, but here's my only, this is why the power of the hidden market, right?
mhm.
I like what you're doing. The whole issue with this is what's going on right now is the fact that we can't find enough inventory. So what's happening with these generic list source places is that all these investors are doing the same thing. So all these investors are buying similar lists and doing the similar things. That's why my thing called the hidden market, which the reason why it's turned, and the guy who developed it, his name is Tony Youngs,
Mhm.
and you got to look him up. Tony
You said
Youngs. I've got to give him credit because I can't
Tony
continue to
Young?
talk. Yep, I'll put in the chat. Tony Youngs, and I'll put in parentheses. Okay. Tony Youngs. And the reason why it's called the hidden market is because people have houses to sell. They
Mhm.
just don't know they're selling them yet. And so the hidden means it's before it actually gets to the MLS. And it's, huh?
No, go ahead. Somebody just called.
And it's actually before it gets to the MLS, and it's actually before it gets out to all these other list source kinds of things. Because we all could be buying lists from all these different companies, but remember they're making money off the lists, and they're not just going to sell them exclusively to you. And that's why when you're developing this thing called the hidden market, you want to start buying the list, doing what you're doing, but at the same time, you want to create your own lists as well. See, a lot of guys are trying to self-automate all this stuff, and I respect that. I respect it. I do. But I don't know what the actual close rate is on that because people when you're calling them, they don't want to hear a voice recording. They don't want to hear that stuff. And if they call you back, they want to hear your guys' voices. They don't want to hear a VA in the Philippines, a VA in India. They don't want to hear that shit. They want somebody to pick up the phone and take the call right then and there. Now, you're going to have people that are mean and mad, and frankly, they're pissed off at you for bothering them because these guys are getting inundated. I can't tell you how many calls a day I get. I get three or four. I get 3 or 4 calls a day on properties that we own because I'm an out-of-town owner, and so I get these 3 or 4 calls a day. And so the funny thing about these calls is that I answer even though it comes in, it might come in as spam or whatever the call is, I still answer it. And so of course the spiel goes the same way. They go, "Oh, you have such and such property. You're an out-of-town owner. Do you want to sell the property?" And so my response back to them is, please add me to your cash buyer list. Right. And so the problem is the person calling me has never heard that response before. So they don't know how to act because it's not on their script. So I say, please add me to your cash buyer list. And so we just go on and on for a couple minutes. And then they really have no idea what I'm talking about. And so we just hang up and I move on to the next call. But I get those calls all the time. I get the calls all the time and I get the texts all the time. One of the things I never get, and I repeat, never get, is I never get any email stuff. So I don't get any leads. I don't get any people trying to solicit me over email. So what that tells me is that the email campaigns, number one, they're not getting good email addresses, right? So whatever lists are going on, they're not sending out emails because I'm not getting any emails.
Mhm.
And so the next thing that has to happen is the emails are the hardest part to get. But if you're on that'sthem.com or IDI Core and you're building these own lists or you're massaging the list that you're buying and you're adding emails in there and you're going to be able to do an email campaign, that's pretty strong. In other words,
Right.
what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to explain to you is I'm trying to help you guys get one step above this incredible group of investors who are doing exactly the same thing. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes. And see, I guess our method, we're moving towards off market, like the hidden list, building the list, nurturing it. getting the suspects off, getting them to prospects. And if we have to nurture them for 90 days, 6 months or whatever, we're moving our list as organic as it can be. We have the 12 zip codes that we're working southeast of the Beltway that we're going to focus on very intensely to take down houses that's in that $200,000 to $400,000 price range, which is our sweet spot. And we just ready to get business because we have a dialer, we have a caller, and we just going to put the press on for like the next 90 days.
2019 PG County lanes. Okay. Oh shit, I haven't looked at this since December, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. How many are on this list? I'm just trying to, that's a bullshit.
Yeah, and like you said, and we know to build the list generically is the best way to do it now.
PG County.
And driving for dollars.
I'm trying to find tax. Okay. This is the gold. This is the gold one. Okay. All right. So in this particular list that I've got here, 6/18/20, I gotta remember to send it to you guys.
Hey Charlie, when I click on the file here, it has drop, it has Google. Which one should we click into? The file that you put in the thing here.
No, I sent you a movie. I sent you like a movie.
Oh, okay, I have the movie. Okay.
You got it? All you gotta do is share your screen and play it. This was my introduction.
Well, let me know when you're ready for me to do that.
This was my introduction. We'll do it later. We'll do it later because it's got like Clear Sky Financial, it's got Clear Sky Properties, and it's got our Basement Tales podcast. Okay. All right. So what I'm looking at here, and Anthony, I can, like I said, you just tell me where you want me to send it. I've got and 20 auctioned off tax lien certificates. So these are 4867 properties that the owners were delinquent in their PG County property taxes. And so what they do is they auction off the tax indebtedness owed in the form of tax liens.
Mm-hmm.
Now you guys don't care about that for the most part. You might care next year, but this auction is over. But this is 4,800 properties that you guys can sort by your zip code. Since you had how many zip codes? 12?
13. A total of 13.
Yeah, 13.
They mostly in PG County or?
These are all PG. All right, give me your zip codes.
Okay, let me get the list out.
Just give me 2 or 3 off the top of your head.
20748. Good. Marilla, you probably know them faster than me.
All right, 20748.
Gail, do you have any?
All right, hold on. I'm just going to click that.
20745. Matt.
All Temple Hills.
Or
So there's 300. Okay, so just in that one zip code.
20735.
But just in the first zip code, 20748, there's 313 of 4866 records, just in that zip code.
And tell you what, Charlie,
I'm sorry.
What's another one?
What's the Clinton one, Gail?
20735.
All right, so in 20735, all right, there are 191. So there's 200.
And that's for tax liens?
Yeah. So these people at one point in time were delinquent on their property taxes. Odds are they probably have caught up, but they were delinquent. So I don't, like I said, I don't mind sending you guys this list. I mean, it's just another list.
and Charlie,
it's actually a public list.
Send it on over, Charlie. But I got the list right here now. I got it out.
Is that yeah. So that all right.
it.
So wait a minute. I need to write things down. that I need to do. So I'll send that PG County tax lien list, right? I will send the 90+ ways brochure.
Right.
All right. Okay, we good there?
Okay, yeah.
Anything
Hey,
else I gotta
Charlie,
do? All right, I'm writing it
Hey,
down.
Charlie,
Yes.
I just want to give you our zip codes that we are working right now. We're doing 20741, 20742, 20743, 20744, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 52, and 31. Those are our zip codes that are called south of the Beltway.
Okay. Those are all good. Those are all good areas.
Yeah, you know, from Capitol Heights to Fort Washington, Maryland, PG. I call it the PG County sweet spot.
All right, if you want to, how many were there? Well, I mean, I could send you this, I'll send you this spreadsheet anyway, and y'all can deal with it.
Right, right.
Or I could tell you the exact amount, but that's okay.
And I'll skip trace it and everything. That's no problem.
All right, yeah, no problem. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. All right, so, all right, so we haven't even got past, what time, you guys are all right on time?
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing, Charlie.
Okay, so creating, so the big deal is, like I said, you can't be lazy in this business. You got to put forth the time and effort. And that's why there's nothing more valuable than the driving for dollars piece. That is so valuable to create your own list. Okay.
You hear that, team? Driving for dollars, getting in the car, or rather we're doing it virtually. Either way, the virtual using the Google Maps, driving for dollars, or getting in the car and being consistent. You know, you got to give it 20 hours a week, 2 hours a day.
That's right. It's got to be consistent, and you can't. It's going to be discouraging. Trust me, this whole business right now is discouraging from a finding side. I understand it's discouraging as hell, but like I said, you got to stay off that MLS right now. That MLS is a time bomb. You've got too many investors out there with irrational exuberance who are bidding properties up so high that they're not going to make any money, and you just can't.
They're going to get stuck.
You
hear what he just said? Let me translate that for Charlie. There's too many investors out there with deal-itis.
The deal what?
The deal-itis. Yeah. They need a deal. Deal-itis.
Yeah, that's a problem, right?
Deal-itis.
If they're bidding on property that's not worth the price, why are they doing it? For what?
Well, some of these investors, especially
you're not going to make much money.
Some of these investors are buying on a 10% spring market appreciation. So let's say I've got a property that's worth $300,000 today. They think because of inventory levels, they think that thing's going to be worth $330 in three to 4 months. That's a dangerous game to play when you're bidding on future value. That's called FV, future value. That's a dangerous game. I wouldn't play it.
Nah, I would never do that.
Don't play it. I see it. I'm seeing it all the time, especially today, Prince William Courthouse. There were 2 auctions, and these guys bid it. I mean, let's say my profit margin was 40,000. I got outbid by 50 or 60,000. So now they outbidding, and the one buyer, the one house, was an end user buyer because inventory in some of our areas, there's no inventory. You have realtors bringing their clients to the courthouse steps.
Oh my God, Charlie.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So even the foreclosure auctions at the courthouse steps I wouldn't do it. The MLS is the wrong place to find properties. The courthouse steps right now. I mean, it's just I can't. Right now, it's closed. Okay, so that's step 1.
Okay.
Of your asset search, and I'll quickly go over step 2. And you guys probably know this, but I'm going to go over it. So what I'm putting in here. Okay, go to that web. If you don't, it's next to my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's next to my head.
So in 2 days.
Yep.
So in 2 days.
Yeah.
You see it right there in the chat?
Yes.
Tell me when you're there, and then I'll explain to you what we're doing here. And you guys got to do this too.
Do you want me to go there and open it up, Charlie? Or
No, I want your whole group. I want the whole group to go. Especially the ones that are sleeping. Brianna and Gail. James, Howard, y'all can wake up.
All right, don't count me out, I'm here.
All right, y'all wake up. I ain't heard no
I'm at the
questions.
website.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
so
everyone there?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay. How many, and this is a question I want you guys to answer. How many of you guys have a landing page?
Well, I have a website that, that pushes all of that stuff out.
All right, so you have a landing page, Anthony, that's fine. You have
Yeah,
one?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think our group has one too. Matthew, I know he's on. I don't know if you can hear him.
Right,
Matthew?
so-
Yeah, I have like a web
Yeah, we
page.
have a website
Okay, good.
and
Good.
Facebook, and I think we have Instagram.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
even better. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
and
so
Facebook.
how are you driving? Okay, so we use 3 ways. How are you guys driving traffic to that website?
Right
Number
now, we're using, the format overall for the group, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Oh, good. So
Yeah.
are you doing Facebook ads?
No, I'm not doing Facebook ads,
Okay.
but hopefully I'll get there in the next few weeks.
Yes.
I just allocated a budget for that.
I understand.
know,
It's all hell, trust me, it's all a budget. I get it.
Yeah, I just
The budget
allocated a
can't
budget
increase
for
until your
that.
inventory increases. Okay.
Okay.
So all I want to talk about, but you have you have the basics, right? You have, if you scroll down, you have screen capture, so you can capture leads.
Yeah,
Okay. And then you have why sell to you and all that stuff.
right.
And
Right.
so
I have
for
that.
us-
I have a format close to that. Yes.
Okay. So if you go to the bottom of our page, you're actually going to see properties that we've actually fixed and flipped.
But see, we haven't done anything yet,
Okay.
so how can I?
All right. So what I would do is, are you guys agents?
We're studying to be.
Oh, you are. Okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's all right. Okay. So, okay.
Well, I'm an agent, Charlie, and I got 4 more agents coming online probably in the next 30 days.
Yeah, but I know a flip or two that you've done, so you need to put those up. The condo
Mm-hmm.
and a couple others. So, but we just happen to be a little bit more experienced, but that's not a big deal. Who cares? Okay, what I was trying to get at is that for us, I've never been a fan of the internet, and I've never been a fan of this, because I'm like, people selling distressed assets, they don't go to Facebook. I mean, they don't go searching for landing pages. That's not what they do. They're in a distressed situation. They're certainly not going to look for the buyer of their house. Maybe online, maybe things have changed. But with that said, the internet is too big to not spend dollars on it. You're going to need to spend dollars on it. So the way we do it is we do paid Facebook ads. Obviously, our budget's a little bit higher. I do Craigslist, which is free. But what we do on Craigslist is I'll have somebody put an ad up there for me like 8 times a day. Because, when you put an ad up, it scrolls out. So they got to constantly go there and put Craigslist ads. Now, it's not the best thing in the world. It doesn't work really that well, but we do it just to put our website up there and get some click-throughs. The other thing we do PPC, pay-per-click from Google. So we'll do Google ads. And then the fourth thing, and the most important thing that you guys have got to do with the landing page on the website, is you've got to invest in what's called SEO, search engine optimization. It's called SEO. So you've got, and again, I understand it's a budget. We don't have all this money to advertise, but again, it's an organizational maturity kind of thing. Now, the important part of this is that, and this is why your hidden market, your generic database you've got to know where these leads have come from, because any leads that come through your landing page, you've got to have a flag to tag it, because you're going to have so many different feeders into your own lead source, right? Just like Anthony said, you've got the probates, 2,600. So you've got to have a flag that says probate. You're going to have this 4,800 list that I'm about ready to send you on 2020 PG County tax liens. That's going to got to have its flag. You're going to create your driving for dollars lists. So you got to have a flag for that, because you got to know, see, you guys are going to have to know where these leads came from. You can't just throw them in one central, database, and you're going to want to know where you got them from, because you're going to want to know, okay, is my driving for dollars working? Is my site engine optimization working? Am I getting leads through my website? If I'm not getting leads through my website, I've got to shit can that, because it ain't working. If I'm wasting someone's time putting up 12 or 20 Craigslist ads a day, if that ain't working, I can't have them utilizing their time doing that, because that ain't working. So what you've got to do is you've got to go through all these different iterations to figure out what's working for you and what's not working. But I have a feeling, though, that your driving for dollars is going to work the best once you get it going. And then as you get bigger and you do more fix and flips, let's say you make, I don't know, you're doing a fix and flip and you're making 40,000 in profit. Well, 10,000 of that or 5,000 of that has got to go back into your advertising budget.
Right now, Charlie, I'm allocating $5,000 a month for marketing
Okay.
for like the next 6 months.
Okay. And that's good. But marketing is, what does that entail, right? Is it
Right.
mailers?
It's going to be mailers. It's going to be Facebook. It's going to be paid per click, and driving for dollars.
Yep.
And voicemail. It's going to be
Okay.
text. If we're going to text, we're going to voicemail and email.
Okay.
So that's like our octopus there. That's what we're going to drive at each and every day. Consistently, that we're going to lock down there for the next 90 days.
And that's smart because what I tell people is this, and you know this too, Anthony, is that when you're in the incubator stage,
Mhm.
right? There's two things you got to be doing. Number one, marketing. It's got to be 80% of your time, 75% of your time. The other 25% of your time has got to be education. Now, obviously, Anthony, you know a lot, so you're not.
Definitely.
But I'm talking to the rest of the gang. The rest of the gang.
Thank you.
I don't know that.
Hey, Charlie, thank you.
But you can't go wrong doing it. I mean, just for me, personally, for me, I still do things, and for this weekend and Friday, I was doing this thing called Cash Flow Expo, which Cash Flow Expo is kind of a different niche. We're into the market now. We're buying more and more of these notes. So we want to buy loans. And so I want to buy loans in the DMV, and we've already bought a bunch of loans too, because I want to put that business line with our hard money business line. And so I'm looking into buying loans. So I sat in a couple of seminars that absolutely wasted my time, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and part of Monday. But really, honestly, it didn't waste my time, because my attitude is that if I listen to an hour seminar on whatever, if I can pick up one nugget that I don't know, then it's worth my time. And so that's kind of how I approach things. And so even me to this day, I'm still looking up things, reading books, getting educated. It's just that I'm not learning new stuff, but I'm still, doing stuff, still out there learning stuff. And so that's just the way it is. Okay. All right. So
Can you tell me, when you say buying loans, can you give me a little bit more detail?
Yeah. For example, let's say Temple Hills, what's the property? 350,000?
Mhm.
Average single family, 350.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's say somebody has owned their house outright. Okay. Their house is $350,000. They're selling their house and they own it outright. Well, they want to hold financing. They don't want to, they want to keep, they want to create a mortgage that somebody buying it's paying them. So they might say, okay, I'm going to sell my house for 350,000, but I'm going to make this buyer put up 20%, which is 70 grand. So I'm going to have a seller carryback mortgage of $280,000. So it might be $280,000, 30-year amortization, and it might be at 8% interest rate, right? Right. So it's a $280,000 mortgage. Well, what happens is they might come into a scenario where they might need a lot more cash. And so they might want to sell that loan for $280,000 to someone else. Well, I am that someone else who will buy that loan. So that's what that means. I'm just out there buying,
Thank
I'm
you.
out there buying paper. So instead of me buying another rental property and putting it in my portfolio, I would rather buy a loan, a mortgage. Okay, you understand that?
Right, so
I do.
Marilla,
We diverged. We totally diverged into another topic.
right, good, you may,
It's
you know,
fine. I don't mind. I wanna-
you think, because you remember I was telling y'all what's going to be the future of where we going for like the next 18 months, the 24 months window. You know, we have to learn how to structure deals, learn how to structure paper, because that's where a lot of this stuff is going to be going. People are going to be walking away from houses. You know, there's going to be a lot of zombie houses. People ain't gonna, they're not going to have that money to pay after 1 year of not doing nothing. So we're going to have to get very good at note structuring, talking with people. We have to be that helping hand.
Mhm.
And you got to know how to talk with people and not use the term seller finance, but let me help you with this. Because they're not going to understand the language. They're not going to understand, they're not going to understand the verbiage. I'm here to help you with this situation.
Yeah, and here's another popular term that you guys got to learn too. It's called this. I'm gonna put it in the chat. You probably heard of this, right? Subject twos.
Yeah.
I think subject twos are going to be extremely famous in the next 2 years because a lot of the people that are going to need to sell their homes have recently bought the houses within the last 3 or 4 years. So they're going to have a mortgage on that house. But what's the beautiful thing about that mortgage on that house? It's probably going to have a low interest rate.
Yeah.
So if you learn to put the subject to into your pocket, that's a fascinating way to buy houses. And so that's just, and that gets you away from the hard money guys like us who are doing hard money, because guys like us are good doing hard money, but a subject to is a much better way to do it because the interest rate's going to be cheaper for a bigger lump sum of money. Now, if there's a big cushion in there, you can then use us, the hard money guys, to carry the rest of the deal in the form of a second trust. Now, we're going to be a little bit more expensive, but that's all right. You don't care because you don't care about a hard money lender, because if you're fixing and flipping the house, you should be in and out of that fix and flip 180 days or less. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a 12% interest rate, a 10% interest rate, a 14%. It's really negligible because you're only talking 6 months and it's interest only. So it's not that much interest as long as you can execute on your fix and flip. Now, the problem is if you use hard money, then you better be good on the execution side. If you're not good on the execution side, I'll tell you right now, I'm not your guy because you're going to lose. We don't want you to lose money because that's not why we're in business.
Now you heard what Charlie said. This is all I've been preaching the last 7 to 8 months. Subject twos. Let's learn how to structure deals. Yeah. The 90-day route, in and out. That's our sweet spot. The hotel. No fixing properties all the way up to the max.
Right.
Only thing we want to do is get them FHA qualified. Yep. Get that 25 to 50,000 and keep it moving. No, that 6 month stuff is out. If we can't get in and out in 90 days, we're going to hotel it. We're going to fix it, put it in a rental portfolio. But everything that we're doing now is, it's the 90-day window. Get in and get out.
Yeah, I think that's smart. I think it's smart just because, June 30, we're going to have a hot market until at least June 30. Personally, I think we're going to have a hot market till December, just because people keep talking, there's going to be a foreclosure avalanche. I don't see that. I don't see it either, Charlie. I don't see there being a foreclosure avalanche, and because this isn't 8, 9, and this isn't 2008, 9 all over again. And in Maryland, it's probably 2012 or 13. It's not that. People that own homes have a lot more financial stability. The equity run-up has been crazy in the last 3 to 4 years. The interest rates are at all-time lows. So anybody who wants to refinance themselves out of a problem are going to be able to refinance themselves out of a forbearance problem. I don't think there's going to be that many foreclosures. There are going to be some, but not as many. So anyway, all right. Now, do you guys have any questions on finding the properties? And I'll quickly get into the funding part.
Not anymore, no.
Okay.
Trio Capital, Bree, Mr. James, do y'all have any questions?
One that just briefly popped into my head would be, what is your biggest strategy on closing a deal? I know we focused on a lot on finding deals, the correct areas to look for them, but we never really touched on how to court the buyer in the most efficient way during this market.
How to what? Court the buyer?
Yes, I
You
mean court the
talk-
seller. Sorry.
Oh, the sellers. You mean on how to find the distressed inventory?
No. So what I was
Like-
speaking about was, once you actually find a property and find an interested seller, how would you really court the relationship to get them to sell to you instead of to the next or more popular buyers?
Okay. Here it is. It's all about trust and education. So when you're sitting there with that seller, you want to educate them on the process as much as possible. And you want to trust, and you want them to trust you. So, but you also want that seller to do more talking than you are doing. But you've got to teach them the process, why they want to sell to you, but you got to get them to trust you. You have to. And usually the way we've always done it is by educating them on the process itself and helping them out. Because what you have to understand is 9 times out of 10, when you're sitting with that seller, they have more problems than selling that house.
Mhm.
Selling that house is only one of their problems. They might need to move somewhere. You might need to help them find a property to transition into. You might have to help them move. You might have to help them sell stuff in their house, maybe through an auction company or an estate company. You might have to, there's a lot of things that you might have to help them do, and the house happens to be one of their many problems. So if you can become a problem solver for these guys, if you can educate these guys to build that trust barrier, then believe me, they're going to go with you. Okay.
And-
So that's always been successful with us. And even when I sit down with a seller, I'm always armed. I'm armed with after repair value comps, let them know, yeah, if your property is in great shape, this is what you can get. I'm also armed with as is comps. When I get there, obviously, unless I've seen pictures, I don't know what the renovation budget's going to look like. Once I get into the house, I can help them and tell them what the renovation budget's probably going to be. But for you guys, that comes with experience. And so that will take time. But the more you can educate them and the more you can help them with problems with the house and other than the house, the more trust bond you'll build. They're not going anywhere else. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Charlie, Brianna, she's like our number one caller of, calling people but on the dialer.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's very powerful. Now, the problem with the dialer is that it's good, but I'm telling you, see, pre-COVID, we like to meet people face to face. But in this day and market, let's face it, most people are spooked. They don't want to meet face to face. They don't feel comfortable. All right, I get it.
Mhm.
But if you can get them on a Zoom call, but then again, a lot of people don't know how to use Zoom. So I just think the face-to-face contact of people, I just think it's a lot more powerful. And so, that's just me. All right. All right. Next thing I want you guys to do, and I'll quickly cover the funding part of it. Did you guys
Okay.
see my last chat in there, my last text in the chat screen?
Mhm.
Can you guys go to C Sky Financial? Tell me when you're there. You guys there? You guys awake?
Hello.
Yes, I'm there.
All right. You guys see Sky Financial? Okay. So if you just scroll down to the bottom, it says how we build our loans. So I actually take you guys through a step-by-step, I don't even know how long it is. It's 30 minutes. I take you a step-by-step, I take you step-by-step on how we build a loan. And the deal that I use as an example, it actually just round tripped. So the guy bought it, used this as a hard money lender, and he just recently sold it, like within the last 3 weeks. So you guys can take the notes and go through there, and that's exactly how we build a loan. So we build a loan on two things. We look at the after repair value. So I'll go up to 75% of the after repair value. But then I look at this thing called loan to cost. And the loan to cost is the purchase price plus the renovation. I add those two together, and then I lend out at, 90% to 95% of the LTC. I can go to 100%. Matter of fact, maybe I will if the deal's got enough room. I'll go to 100%. And so the difference between hard money lenders and the DMV is this is how we separate ourselves. We'll go higher on the after repair value, up to 75. Most of my competitors will go from 65 to 70. And I'll go 95 to 100% on the LTC. So I will have more cash in the game for a loan standpoint than any of my competitors in this area. End of story. Now, what's the problem with that? What's the con? And there is. My loans are going to be a little bit more expensive. Not so much more, but maybe a little. So where I might go out at, 12 and 3, 12 and 3.5. The first number is always the interest rate, interest only. The second number is the points. So I might be at 12%, 3 points, 12%, 3.5. Maybe my competitor's at 10 and 2. The difference is I will have more, my loan will be much higher. I'm talking 10% higher from a number standpoint. So you'll have less cash out of your pocket when using us. All right. So that's the first page of the website.
Charlie, can I highlight that again for you?
Yeah.
Because I know they're going to hold tight on to that 75, 75% of the after repair value. Do y'all get what he was saying, loan to cost, and what is meant by that? Of the total loan? Marilla, Gail, do you get it when he said that? Hello?
Somewhat.
I'm here.
Well,
It's purchase price plus the renovation.
Right.
Right, purchase price plus the renovation.
That's called LTC, loan to cost. And then we lend on a percentage of that.
Right.
And so, like I said, if you go through the loan tutorial on how we build a loan, I
Mhm.
cover those parameters. Because what I do is I take both those parameters and then I look at it from a loan standpoint. And that's how I put the final loan number in there. And so the other thing you got to realize is that all of this is our money. So I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the underwriter and I'm the gatekeeper for all the loans. If I don't like it, I'll tell you. If I don't think you have enough profit in the deal, and I think if it's a sketchy deal, I think it's too much risk, I'll tell you that. I don't have any problem telling you that because for us, the deal has got to be successful. You've got to make your money because we're going to make our money. I can guarantee you that we're making our money no matter what. But it's more important for you to make your money because I don't want you to go out there and do one deal. I want one deal to become 20, right? 20 to become 25 or one to even become 5. I don't want to stop at one because, we spend too much time and effort in marketing and teaching people and talking to people to be one and doners. That's just not our MO. We want it to be more than one. And that's frankly how we built our hard money business up. It's based on all my repeat clientele. Howard, you got something to say?
Howard,
No,
you have
I'm
a
okay.
question?
No, I don't have it.
Okay. Hey, Brianna. Bree.
Yes.
So did you get the part where he was saying loan to cost 90%?
No, I got that it's the purchase price
Okay,
Yeah, loan to
because
cost is purchase price
plus renovation, but
Mhm.
I was just planning to watch the video. So I'm sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, no problem. It is
Okay.
straight, that's a straight butter. That's straightforward. And you can
Okay,
rewind
great.
it, watch it, rewind it. Yeah.
Great, but the reason why I want you to, you to make sure that you get it, Bree, I want to make sure that everyone get it. Because Bree, I know you write a lot of offers, because I know you can put out 100 offers, easy, and you doing pretty fast. So he gave, because most of the time we are giving just the 65, 70%. But since Charlie added the other factor you have loan to cost, and that they would do 90% of the loan to cost total value. I just wanted to make sure you all get that here, because I know most individuals don't, they do not talk about it. Thank you for that, Charlie, for the loan to
Yeah,
cost.
but let me just caveat one point. We will go to 75% of the ARV. However, if it's a full gut in DC, let's say it's a Petworth row house that needs $180,000, somebody's picking it up for 400, needs 180, what's that, 580, it's worth 750. I'm going to go to maybe 70% ARV. I might even dial it back. It just depends on the age of the property and how much renovation work is necessary. Now, if you're doing a wholesale model, like Anthony is talking about,
Yeah, 90
where-
days, Charlie, we in and out,
where
sweet
your
spot.
renovations maybe 20 grand or 15 grand and the asset doesn't need that much work, then I'll go much higher on the ARV. I'll go to 75. But if it's something that needs, I'm going to be a lot more conservative. It just depends on that renovation budget and how much it needs. I'm always concerned about the renovation because there's just too many pitfalls, too many problems.
All right. Thank you, Charlie.
All right. Now, the last thing I want to cover for you guys is, are you guys still on the C Sky Financial website? All right.
Yes.
Click,
Yes.
click communications newsletters. It might take a minute to come up. All right. Scroll down a little bit. Now, what these are newsletters that we send out to our investors that invest with us. And we have 5 years and a month of newsletters. Why is that important to you guys? Well, it's important because in each newsletter, I write an article and Sam writes an article, and it's all tailored to investing, all of them. So we have 61 issues here. You have 122 articles that you guys can read if you're interested. The next thing I want to show you is under communication, we have this thing called events. If you click the event tab, anytime I'm speaking, we have an event up. Okay. So for example, February 18, 2021, which was last week, I did an event at Traction where I presented a focus room. So that's up there. State of the DMV, we've done webinars in the past, COVID webinars, all that stuff is up there. Think Realty Expo in Baltimore. I was on a panel. So Think Realty is a national chain. And so they had an expo in Baltimore. I was on 2 segments. Where to find the money. I presented for about an hour. And then I was on a panel of finding the right lender. I know a little bit about trailer parks. And if you go to the very bottom of the events, we even have an event back in 2016 that I did. This was at the National Harbor when Think Realty was here. How to find distressed assets. Okay. So guys, this is all free. So you can do whatever you want. Now, the last thing I want to cover, so that's about it for funding on the hard money side. The next thing I want to go cover, and the last thing, and I'll let you guys go, is I'll put this in here. This is our podcast. BasementTales.com.
All right.
We're on YouTube. We got a YouTube channel. We're on Spotify. We're on we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on a bunch of other ones too. We're obviously on our website. So if you guys want to find us on YouTube, but that's our website for our podcast. Again, guys, it's free. It's free information. I can't tell you. It's basically four of us sitting around a table telling stories, telling investing stories.
Right.
One of the guys is a high-powered real estate attorney, probably one of the best real estate attorneys in this area. He's retired and only works for us. But we've got 13 episodes out there now. We'll put episode 14 out Thursday, probably at 1 o'clock. But like I said, these are just absolutely dynamite, if I have to say so myself. But like I said, we sit around telling stories, and you won't believe some of these stories. And then what we do is we throw in investment advice. And like I said, it's all free. I mean, we're just doing it. We have no ambitions for this podcast. We don't know what it's going to grow into, nor do we care. The reason why we're doing it is to sort of give back and help out other investors be successful in their businesses, because that's kind of where we're at. And that's
Okay.
that.
Hey, Charlie, can you put your email address in it? Because, so if anyone want to reach out, send you
Yeah.
a question, because we all work together, but I want them to know that, they can contact you, or because most of the time, when we have a deal or something, we all are probably work on it together. But, I just want them to have your email address too, and
I'll put my
not,
partner down, too.
and not only that, go to the Facebook page, the Instagram,
LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn.
yeah, the LinkedIn, and get on these things so we can stay connected with Charlie. We can get education from Charlie.
Yeah. All
Right.
right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You guys have any other questions for me?
Please, y'all have any questions for Charlie, or y'all?
No, Charlie, this is James. I had been kind of wondering what would happen when the moratorium was lifted, and I was thinking sometime around March, and now, of course, it's been extended now to June. But I think you've cleared that for me, because I was really looking for a foreclosure avalanche. But you just cleared it up for me tonight, and I think I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, I think see, the thing that's really driving me crazy, James, and that's a good question. The thing that's really driving me crazy is that I'm seeing so many people, especially like on Connected Investors, Bigger Pockets.
Terrible.
Everybody is trying to sell their courseware based on this foreclosure avalanche that's about ready to happen.
Right.
And all they're doing is they're just trying to take your money on the education side. They're trying to sell education. They could give one lick if you're successful or not, without even analyzing the market. The market is inherent to itself. As long as interest rates stay low, our market's going to pop. We're not going to have a foreclosure avalanche.
Right. As long as
Because-
interest rates stay low,
Yes.
it's low inventory, and
Yes.
there's demand.
Because half the people that are being foreclosed on are gonna be, as long as they have a good paying job. Now their credit might be, well, I don't even know if the forbearance lenders are allowed to report their credit. I don't know if they're allowed to do that.
I haven't heard anything on it yet.
One of
That
the things
either.
that they're gonna make you do though, is let's say you're gonna refinance a loan that's in forbearance. They might make you bring that loan current and make your forbearance payments in total before they'll refinance you out. There might be a stipulation on getting refinanced out of a loan that's in forbearance. But with that said, in my opinion, half the loans that are supposedly going to be foreclosed on, I think they're going to refinance out. I
Okay.
really do. I think the other 25% are going to sell their house on the MLS if they want to. Done. And I think 10% is probably going to be subject to deals. I think most of the deals are going to be subject to deals, in my opinion.
Do you hear that, Tane? Now,
Yes.
was I on point when I say deal structure is going to be the thing?
Yeah.
Put
Yes,
it
you
together. And to hear Charlie second me on that, it makes me feel good to see that I'm leading in the right direction with the hotel deals and the subject to that's putting deals together.
Yeah.
Relocate,
Yeah.
because we're gonna really have to be problem solvers. That's what we're gonna have to be, and help people move on.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly. Remember when I told Brianna earlier, you've got to enter into the space. You're solving more than one problem. Just remember that. That home seller is going to have more than one problem, and you've got to be the go-to problem solver, whatever that damn problem is, even if they just want to sit and talk to you for 2 hours. Shit, they need a psychologist. You got to
Remember, yeah, qualify the deal first before you go.
Yeah.
Qualify the deal
first.
Qualify the deal first.
But see, that's harder too, right? Even though you think you might have a deal in hand, you still have got to somehow figure it out and know the title on that property. So you got to somehow understand that title to know you have a deal in hand. Hopefully they'll be forthcoming and honest enough to let you know what's owed. But
Right. You got to get the truth out. Remember, I always say, speak the truth, seek the truth.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
you always, oh yeah. Yeah, you got to always speak the truth.
Speak the truth, seek the truth. Speaking the truth will keep you out of the trouble, and seeking the truth so they can't lie on you in the future.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Charlie,
Okay, Matthew.
yeah, I have a question. I know you think like most of these mortgages might go into forbearance, right? So I mean, how would the owner get refinanced if the lender looks at their credit? Wouldn't the credit score come into play if they refinance that loan?
Well, that's the question of the day, right? I don't think the current lenders, if the loan is in forbearance, they're not reporting them as 120 days, 90 days late. They're in a forbearance. So they're in this purgatory situation. As long as they're paying their credit cards and their car payments and other credit type bills, they're going to be fine. Now, if they're not paying their loan because, let's say, a job loss and that kind of thing, then yeah, you're right. They're going to go to foreclosure. Eventually they're going to go.
Okay.
But remember though, in Maryland, I think there might be some mediation going on too. I think Maryland might pass some laws that require mediation if they're not already doing it. So then you're going to have a mediation time frame, right? They're just not going to be able to, okay, forbearance is up. I'm going to advertise Joe homeowner and I'm going to foreclose on them in 3 months. They're going to have a mediation period as well.
Right.
And then even when the foreclosure sale goes to the courthouse steps, there's still a judicial approval, which takes, 30, 60, 90 days, PG County. It's quicker in Charles, maybe a little quicker in Montgomery. I'm not sure. But.
Right. So our thing is we're going to be problem solvers.
Yeah.
That's it. If they got a problem, we can solve it. We're going to qualify the problem. We're not out to get people houses. We're out to deliver a service. And if the opportunity is there, then we'll deal with the opportunity. But we're problem solvers. And like you said, Charlie said, people have more than one issue. It's more than the house. They'd be happy to get rid of the house if they know where they are going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Charlie, I thank you. If anybody have any questions, I thank Gamma. I thank Trio Capital. I thank you, Howard. I thank you, Matt and Gail, everyone for showing up tonight. And thank you, Charlie. And maybe in the future we'll ask you back again. And
anytime, guys.
Dealing with the technical glitches, I had that straightened out. Sorry about that.
How it always is.
All righty. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, guys.
You can stay on if you want to, but we want to talk. All right.
Yeah, good luck, you guys. I'll see
Thank
later.
you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yep.
All right. All righty. So who's going to present their vision board this week? Anybody ready? Or did I give 2 more weeks?
I thought you gave 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks. So that'd be next week. All right,
Yeah.
let me see. Let me see, can I pull my vision wall up for y'all to see? So give me a minute. And that was really nice of Charlie to take his time with us tonight, huh?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that was very
Yes.
informative. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Great.
I'm glad y'all was able to join. You know, it was really insightful, you know, for him to do that. And it seemed like, you know, he had a very pleasant, you know, evening, that, you know, that he's willing to come back again.
Mhm.
So thank you. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you also, Mr. Anthony, for introducing him to us. That was the first time I actually had spoken to Charlie, so thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. As I tell you all, I'm an open book. We all on the same team, you know, we on the same road. You know, we have a destination. You know, we're all trying to get there, but we can get there faster, you know, if we work together. You know, and you know, moving forward, you know, we definitely going to move forward with the phone calling, the email. I purchased the leads, so all we have to do now is just you know, make the calls. All right, give me 1 minute. I almost got it there. Let me see. Save as. All right, I'm gonna pull it up for us now. Let me go back over here. Close this down. I'm definitely gonna have everything ready next week. You know, this was a very, very busy week, but I'm getting it done, y'all. Okay, let me open it up. All right, let me go back over here. Hopefully, you know, it'll show up. Okay, let me share screen. Oh, there it is. Bam. Can you all see it?
Yes.
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 Where did it go?
Oh,
It disappeared.
Okay, that's last week's stuff.
Oh,
Lord.
Look like it's going through my whole documents. There we go. So that's my vision wall there. And let me see, can I pull it a little closer there? Okay, believe it or not, I have read all of these books here, but this is like my study wall here. And there, right there, that right here where the mouse is at. Can y'all see the mouse thing where it say the best version of yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I strive to improve me each and every day. And right here on top where it says that's like my vision wall from like 2021 to 2025. And you know, this is the stuff, it's mainly the stuff out of the training manual, but I make sure I focus on it each and every day as I move forward, you know, getting things done. You know, with the 25 houses over here, staying healthy with the family, your health, prayer, meditation, and sleep. Saying what it is, you know, I want to achieve for myself, for my family, for my team. This is right here is the putting it all together. Again, the step-by-step plan. And just breaking it on down, the daily routine. I'm always taking a look at the 4 steps of wealth, learning, doing the work, gathering the work, protecting the work, and giving back. Again, this thing right here, I'm always remind myself that there's different levels of learning where you're like a newbie. You can become an amateur, then you become a professional, then you become an expert. And this paper right here, it shows the 2 different functionalities where like one is like you're an advisor or a trusted advisor. And one on this side, you just a transaction person just trying to get the deal done. So I wanted to share my vision wall with you all to let you know this is how I stay focused each and every day. You know, this is what I want to see. You know, when I'm doing what I'm doing to make sure that I'm sharing. And this is my mission. This is my vision, and I'm sticking to it, and I work with it every day. All righty. Thank you all for letting me share that with you.
Mhm.
All righty. Anyone have any questions or anything? Everyone good?
Mr. Charlie just sent an email to all of us.
Okay. Charlie had a great time.
Mhm.
All righty. All right, so let me get that affirmation out. We're gonna go ahead and close it out for tonight. And it's the closing affirmation. I'm gonna say it loud and say it proud because I like it, I believe it, and I believe we all should be saying it. If money is your hope for independence, you will never have it. The only real security that a person can have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability. And you got to live in that, believe in that, and you got to be consistent. Anything else, team? Okay. We're going to be really getting back to making the phone calls. I'm gonna skip Trace, the 2,600 leads, and I'm going to be buying more. So we're going to be busy. And just to reference back on what Charlie said, it's really an off-market game, but I don't want us to stop looking online, because we got to keep our writing muscle up, and that doing deal muscles. We can't get itis, but we have to keep moving. So that's the reason why we're going to do the offline. Looking for properties, driving for dollars, virtual dollars. We just got to go in motion. I don't believe that there's going to be a market crash, but there's going to be a lot of people that need help. And we just got to be ready for them. And yes, Marilla. Mhm.
So can we do the postcards or
Oh, yes.
send those out or?
Oh, we definitely going to be doing the postcard. The deal machine has it already. With once we put the addresses in. See, the thing, I have to be very careful, dealing with the deal machine. Like if you have 1,000 leads in it, and every day on a certain month, it'll just send out 1,000 postcards for you. And you got to be ready for whatever comes in or how that, the leads people call to follow up. You just got to be ready to do it. But if we did have 1,000 leads and we think those 1,000 leads are going to work, hey, the money is there for 6 months. I plan to spend $30,000, $5,000 a month for the next 6 months.
So how do you want us to use the postcards? I mean, at what point?
No, what we're gonna do like what we did the last time. With the zip codes, we're gonna put all the leads into the deal machine. With the zip codes that I gave Charlie, all 12 of them or 13 of them. We're gonna put all of them in deal machine. We're gonna put them in deal machine and we're gonna put them in IQ dial. We're gonna call them, we're going to text them, we're going to email them. And with the deal machine, we're going to send them postcards. Because right now, I think the cost has dropped down from 80 cents a card to 50 cents a card. So we're definitely going to be sending cards out. So we're going to be doing postcards, emails, call, and text. So that's 4 channels right there that we're going to be touching people. So the main thing is we just got to make sure that we stay consistent. It can't be a stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. I believe that's how most of the leads the last time they got stale, because it wasn't a consistent effort. We started off strong, and but we didn't keep the pressure on. We have to keep the press on to achieve. Even when Deal Machine called me up, they said, Anthony, wow, you guys are doing great. And but he said, man, but you gotta keep the press on. I see y'all getting the leads, but you guys are not keeping the press on. As a matter of fact, I had a training with Deal Machine today. They still think so highly of what we got because we got so many leads in there. And when he's telling me that the average person don't, out of all their accounts, he said the most they might have in their account is about 4 or 5 leads. And we had like 5 times as that, 5 times leads. He said, but you guys need to keep the pressure on. That's your situation. You have to stay consistent with this to get the success you want. It's the consistency that's going to get us, the success. And that's why I believe that I'm going to put the budget there, that we can get it done. I know we can get it done. We're there. And we got to make the phone calls. We got to return the emails. We all have assets, we don't have to look for the tools. We got the best tools in the business, tell you the truth. And I have looked at these tools over the last 2 to 3 years. Even some of the websites, like the Skip Tracing website, the one that I use, we're going to be using Batch, and we're going to be using Best. They are 2 in the business. Now, I know the one that he gave, that IDI, they more expensive, but I wouldn't use them unless the house was just really, really in disrepair and we had to find out. Because at $1, that's pretty expensive when you can get it at anywhere from 12 cents to 25 cents. But we're gonna, we just got to do it. That's keep the pressure on me too. Don't let me go light. Keep the pressure on me. You hear me, Bree? You hear me, Matt? You hear me, Gail? You hear me, Howard? Keep the pressure on me too. Keep the pressure on me. And also we're going to be doing role playing. So forgive me if I bug y'all to say, hey, we got a role play today. But we're gonna get you. And I'm just, we just got to do it. If we want to get that money. And you heard what the hard money lender said. He'll be willing to go up to 75 if we doing hotel. And he said with guts, full guts, he only going to do about 70. But I believe hotel is the best strategy right now, in and out. All right. And subject twos, I know that's going to be the future too. So with that, I'm not gonna hold y'all too much longer. I thank you for, giving up your time tonight. I thank you for the questions you had.
Thank you.
You asked the hard money lender and he came through for us tonight. So thank you.
He did.
So for that, I'm gonna say good night.
Thanks, everybody.
All right,
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, take care.
Bye.
All right.